All right, y'all, what's up? I'm back with another video. I'm super excited about this one because this is one of my favorite topics to talk about, spiritual warfare. It's something that we deal with every single day. It's something that we walk amongst every single day. And so it's really a passion of mine to teach people how to, number one, notice it, or even to like remind myself of how to notice it. And secondly, like how to counteract that. Now, one really good example right now, we know the whole thing is going on with DMX. And so I want to use him as an example because I think he's an awesome example. And also I think he's a powerful prayer warrior. And I think there's a calling over his life. So I just want to talk about that and talk about what spiritual warfare means, but then from an actual like example so that you guys could like break it down a little bit more. So spiritual warfare is not, it's not like the typical war. It's not like you go get your gun and you go get your knife and everybody goes to battle. It's an unseen battle against like spirits, against the spiritual realm, right? So a lot of us say we're spiritual now. Well, this is what our spirit is up against every single day. So what happens is you can't really see it, but it's just things that go on. So maybe it's an attack on your mind. Maybe it's an attack on like your thoughts, whatever is going on. Maybe you feel depressed. Like these are things like the devil tries to attack us in all different ways, and that's spiritual warfare. So the devil, a lot of times people are like, yo, the devil just made me in a car accident or made me. Like that's not really how the devil works. He don't just be trying to like, he don't walk in your room like pss, 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 and start punching you. Like it doesn't work like that. He gets in our head. So like, a good way to explain it is, when you hear like, you you have a choice, right? So say you like, all right, I could go to this party and get lit with my friends and turn up for the whole weekend, ignore all my bills, or I could pay my bills. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, I am stressed, so forget the bills. I'm gonna go out and do whatever. Like that is the kind of warfare, because then it's like, not only did you like miss the opportunity to be responsible, but now you got to deal with not having the money for the bills. And like, you know what I'm saying? He just distorted your mindset for a little while. So it's like, that's what spiritual warfare is. And also the devil could use different people. So like, maybe it's your boss at work who hasn't been that respectful or something like that. Maybe it's your kids acting crazy. Like this is the kind of warfare, and it kind of like stirs us up or affects different parts of our life, right? So now that we have a better understanding of that. One thing about spiritual warfare is that the devil, he knows when we all have callings. I want to start by saying that. So even if you came here by accident, maybe you only believe in God or whatever it is, like it's not just by chance that you got on this video. Every single person in the world has a calling, and everybody has a talent. That talent is not used for us. Like that talent is used to uplift God. But a lot of us are choosing to do that. Like, and I am one of those people, like I use my talents when I had the talent of teaching or the talent of like speaking to people and really getting them to understand. I use that to teach astrology. So that was an attack on my life because I had the gift, like, also I could sing. But as a kid, I told my mom, like, I'm not singing no gospel. I don't want no churchy voice, like, so those are like the attacks on my gifts. But the bigger the calling, I feel like the devil really tries to get in there and affect our minds. And as I just started, so this whole thing happened with DMX and he's in ICU. It really made me think, because one thing I know about that man is he got some prayer on his album. So I went back and I started watching a couple of his interviews. And he talked about how he believes that his calling over his life is a pastor, right? And we know that this man has some strong some strong influence, right? Because what rapper out there went in, who got on their album and really did a whole prayer? Like that boy prayed down the house on the album, like, and he was really doing this in a time when nobody really was. So he knows that's his calling on his life, right? And many of us are like that. We know that we have some kind of calling, but we just keep getting knocked down or falling down, right? So that's what we want to talk about today. So when I look at DMX, I see him as a case of somebody who has some really powerful impact that he is going to leave on this world. And I feel like that's the reason why maybe he didn't even leave this time, or there's been many times where he was down, but he recovered, like he doesn't stop because he knows that he must complete this mission with God. But what happens is when the devil knows that there's somebody with something planted in their heart and they're going to change or they're going to speak that truth, he tries to attack. And so DMX talked a little bit about how he was younger and someone just like laced the drugs that he was using or laced something that he was smoking, and that's kind of like where his drug journey there we go drug journey started, right? But a lot of people look at that and they're like, not me. But honestly, like maybe you're not doing crack, but we all have something that we kind of like got distracted. Like we look back on our younger selves and we like, wow, how did I have so much commitment, so much dedication? What happened over these years to get me here? And this right here is called the spiritual warfare, right? So as we live life, we find vices, we find things that help us to get away from our problems, but they don't really help us. Like maybe it's drinking, maybe it's sex, maybe it's smoking, maybe it's partying, maybe it's traveling, spending money you don't have. Whatever it is, we all have one of those. So we have to figure out how to control that, and also we have to gain our faith in God so that we can move through that. But what I really, really want to talk about today is strongholds, right? Those things that you try to get away from. You know, we see DMX, he tried to get away from drugs multiple times, went to rehab, tried to fix his marriage and things like that, and they keep pulling us down, right? Those are called strongholds. So the thing about strongholds, it's this scripture here, Matthew 12:43, right? And it goes into 25, verse 25. But it's when I discovered this in 2017, it was crazy because it transformed my life, and it started to help me understand why that I have a downfall so many times in my life, or, you know what I'm saying, why when I'm doing good, I get pulled back off a track, like, you know, and it started to make me wonder or get a fuller understanding of that. So I'm going to share this with you. So Matthew 12:43-45 talks about the return of the unclean spirit, right? So, you know, I'm going to put some context behind it. You know, when you just break up with someone, you quit smoking weed or whatever it is, you're not eating bad anymore. You end it, right? You clean your room, you clean your house, you clean the pictures of that person, whatever you're doing to cleanse yourself, right? You clean it. Well, let's see what happens once you clean it. What happens? The Bible. Let's see what God got to say about that. All right. So this is called the return of the unclean spirit. When the unclean spirit has gone out of the person, it passes through waterless places seeking rest, but finds none. Then it says, I will return to my house from which I came. And when it comes, it finds the house empty, swept, and put in order. Then it goes and brings with it 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they enter and dwell there. And the last state of the person is worse than the first. So also it will be with this evil generation. So this is what we're going through, y'all. It's just not something that is magically like, dang, you know, like, oh, this person just back on drugs. No, this is a spiritual warfare. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, when you try to walk away from something, like these are you going, people are glorifying the word demon, but this is really what the context of demon means. Like, it's like you deal with your demons, you push them away, like flee from me. And it's the same thing. I like to think of this concept as like having an ex, you know, that ex who you break up with, you like, I'm not with you no more. I'm good. And then all of a sudden they try to date other people, they try to do whatever, and they realize they're just not getting whatever they was getting from you, and they come back, and it's like you were doing so good without them, but now you just fall back, and they're like, your friends is like, what's going on? Like, that's an example of this, but this happens with drugs, this happens with sex, this happens with money, this happens with all kinds of things. So it's like when we decide that we're going to flee from something of our own ways, we got to stay prayed up and we got to stay in our faith, or it'll be too easy for us to convert back, or to be those 7 spirits that return. They like, you clean, you ain't doing drugs no more, you ain't having sex, you ain't doing this, and then they try to, you know what I'm saying, just like distract. So this is why it's so important, because spiritual warfare is like a cosmic attack. Like everybody's talking about, it's like a universal attack. It's literally the things that we cannot see. Like everybody talks about the universe. No, this is what it is. Like this is the things that we cannot see, but best believe they are real. So the reason I said that is because, like, if you're trying to like change your life, maybe you got someone you're trying to break up with, and they toxic, you know, they're not leaving. Maybe that's the return of that unclean spirit. Maybe if you're waking up in the middle of the night, you're not having sleep, like that's some spiritual warfare right there. Like God is waking you up. If you get waking up at 3:00 in the morning, I would suggest you pray. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because God, that's the hour. Like, you know, and we're gonna give that to the Lord. So I would say that. And then let me see, you know, even these things where people be like, we got spiritual ties, soul ties, like those are not healthy. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're in God, like we have to be one. And then as we're one, we become 2 ones together. You know what I'm saying? So all of these things are not healthy. And it's like these are a part of our spiritual warfares. So we have to make a decision to flee away from those, but also be conscious that they will return. Like that ex return, like that desire to smoke weed or drink return, like everything, it will return. Like these things don't magically go away, but we got to go to war. You know what I'm saying? Which I'll talk about in another video, but we got to go to war to fight that away from us. So I don't know. I just wanted to say that because not everything bad happening in your life is God. It's not the devil trying to like ruin your life either. Like, for example, if you get into an accident or something like that, you're like, oh, the devil did not take your car and start spinning it and doing whatever, pushing it on the highway. He can't do that. He doesn't have that much power. The only thing he could do is get in your mind about a decision or a choice or things like that. So that's what we have to be mindful of. And then also be open-minded when things happen. Maybe you got a flat tire. That's not the devil. Maybe it was God saving you from going somewhere. So we got to start being in tune with God so we can know when he's trying to correct us, you know what I'm saying? And then when we could also discern when the devil is trying to attack our mind and make and influence us, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like in the garden, the devil could not make Eve. He did not put the apple to Eve's lips and like bite it. Like, he can't do that. The only thing he could do is like, you know, you got friends like this, like, might as well eat it. Like, you might as well get all the wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it works like. So, you know what I'm saying? There will be people who will be a part of your spiritual warfare, but it's more so a spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful of the things you take in. Be mindful of the people you're around. Be mindful of the things you say. We're going to get into some real deep stuff. We're going to just keep going and exploring the Bible. But I'm excited because this one right here, this got me excited. No, but this got me excited. So, yeah, like, comment, like, share below about spiritual warfare. What did you think about Matthew 12:43? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you struggling with? You don't have to share out, but, you know, like, whatever, like, drop something down, what you're struggling with and what you're protecting yourself against. And then make sure you keep watching, because the next video is going to be, now that we talked a little bit about just an overview of what spiritual warfare is and a little bit about how it works. I'm going to teach y'all about the armor that I learned in 2017 that I didn't even know God had armor, y'all. Like, put it on. Like, no, but he had armor. So we're going to talk about the armor that Jesus offers us to protect us in this warfare. So, what he say? John Gabbana said, I'm going to go to war. I'm going to be a soldier for Jesus. So you choose too, man. Thank y'all for watching this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Shout out to Jesus. Let's go.